You know, there's a section of Biden's press conference in at the NATO summit that I don't think got enough coverage, especially for what he said, the way he said it, and the implications of what he said. Ann Garen asked him a question about the NATO people believing that when he goes and he said America is back and wanting the NATO folks to trust them, etc., trust America again, that somehow why should they do that when we have proven to have elected a Donald Trump? And given that Donald Trump still controls the Republican Party, again, is it not possible that they could lose America again? And he answers the question, I think, perfectly. But more importantly, he linked the survival, or he linked the country coming back together with success in domestic policy. I don't know. I mean, take a listen to how he expressed this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Ann Garen, The Washington Post.
Here at this meeting and earlier at the G7, you've said several times that America is back at allies' side. A lot of those allies are themselves pretty rattled by what happened on January 6th, an attempted overturning of your election. And they may still be alarmed by the continued hold that Donald Trump has over the Republican Party and the rise of nationalist figures like him around the world. What do you say to those allies? What have you been saying to them at these meetings about how the next president of the United States can keep any promises you make?
What I'm saying to them is watch me. I mean, I'm not saying anything, quite frankly. I'm just going out. People, as I've said before, don't doubt that I mean what I say, and they believe that I keep my commitments when I say it. I'm not making any promises to anyone that I don't believe are overwhelmingly likely to be kept. I think it's appropriate to say that the Republican Party is vastly diminished in numbers. The leadership of the Republican Party is fractured, and the Trump wing of the party is the bulk of the party, but it makes up a significant minority of the American people. It is a shock and surprise that what's happened in terms of the consequence of President Trump's phony populism has happened. And it is disappointing that so many of my Republican colleagues in the Senate, who I know better, have been reluctant to take on, for example, an investigation because they're worried about being primaried. But at the end of the day, we've been through periods like this in American history before, where there has been this reluctance to take a chance on your reelection because of the nature of your party's politics at the moment. I think this is passing. I don't mean easily passing. That's why it's so important that I succeed in my agenda. The agenda, whether it's dealing with the vaccine, the economy, infrastructure, it's important that we demonstrate we can make progress and continue to make progress. And I think we're going to be able to do that.
Now you hear that. What he is saying is we have to produce for the American people. If we produce for the American people, there would be no real risk of the re-engagement of Trump's false, faux populism. The phony populism will stop working if we produce for the American people. And if the phony populism stops working, we don't get a Trump. If we don't get a Trump, we can re-engage internationally, and people will trust us. Now, what that means from a neoliberal point of view, what that means from a capitalism point of view, etc., that's a different story. But the danger to our democracy isn't the fights that we have to have with regards to how best to create an economic system. The fight that we have is to ensure we don't have the fascism that Donald Trump, the autocratic type government that Donald Trump is attempting to institute, like many other leaders on the right throughout the world. I think Biden is onto something, And if he really believes that, he has to produce for the American people. And what he has to produce for the American people are things that the middle class folks can see, the poor folks can see. Then just maybe he's going to fight harder for the progressive policies we're looking for than many progressives believe. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.